Hey, yo. Welcome
Hello,
to.
hello.
Yeah, hey. And I still haven't got the numbers correct, so I wish I could tell you which number this is. We got to be close to 300, right?
What are numbers? What are numbers really?
That's all a construct. Maniac, welcome. It is April 2022. We are Salt Tier Podcast, the Pacific Northwest, very, very best video game podcast where your argument is
Always invalid.
always invalid. We are coming to you from not Studio 21BXQ4. What the hell was the name of the studio? I already forgot.
Studio 2 and 2, right?
2 and 2. Thank you. We're not from Studio 2 and 2 in South Lake Union, Seattle, but we are, somewhat nearby. And we're coming to you on a cold night in the Northwest. Sucks.
Not too cold though. Could
Hey,
be worse.
Now it's cold
We
in
got like
Portland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a hailstorm the other day.
Yeah.
But we're getting ready for some events happening. I'm playing some music next Sunday. SakuraCon is going to be in Seattle, so that's going to set things aflutter. We'll talk about that in a bit. We got news. We got some. It was just nice to see everybody. I mean, I haven't seen y'all in a little bit. I was gone last week.
So are we.
Yeah, so you we'll get some consistency. I think that clutch, like having that fourth person at ready at any given time was clutch. So on a bad week, it was 3. And then on good weeks, it was 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
But that was also in the middle of quarantine when everybody was stuck at home. So we'll see. Maybe we'll just break everybody's legs and they have to be on our podcast. What do you think of that?
Keep them like misery.
Yeah.
I saw
Bateson, baby.
I saw another random reference to that, maybe like in the last 2 weeks. That's the second time somebody's mentioned that very specifically.
It's time to rewatch it or read it.
It's so strange.
Or watch the Critic episode about it. What do you think about
Critic.
that?
I haven't watched that in a while.
Ooh, do you see that?
Yeah, you money shot yourself?
It's a little fizzy. I hope that's not a money shot. Something's genetically wrong with that, right? Like if it's carbonated.
Yeah, that'd be an anomaly. As you can see from my title, for those watching, I'm a SCP Foundation fan. I just discovered this maybe 3 weeks ago, and I'm obsessed with it. And it's cool because it's something that's cool, and it's a whole universe of something that hasn't been spoiled yet. Like nobody, Hollywood or somebody hasn't come in and try to stomp on it yet.
Well, then we'll circle back to you on the introductions. Before I do the introductions, I want to give a big shout out to Flay for doing that intro. Thank you very much. Yes. A lot of thanks to so many people behind the scenes. We got Keith the Boogie, we got Bobby Stills, paying bills.
Bobby Stills is on he's on a award tour right now.
He's on a freaking adventure, but he's there at every bonus round, making sure that thing doesn't fall apart. It's kind of crazy seeing what a production director does, at those events. It's just when something's going wrong, point, fix it. 5 minutes later, next little thing to put out. It's crazy, but he gets it done. Also, obviously, London with a Y, you kind of help sometimes, I guess. So thank you, and all of that good stuff. So just thanks to people that we don't really see that often. And also, once again, thanks to Voodoo Ranger. We do need to email soon. We are grossly overdue. But remember, in a world of ordinary IPAs, Voodoo Ranger saves the day. Remember, they're B Corp certified and employee owned. And you got the new one.
It's still the Agent 77.
Nice.
Super tight. And that said, that's who's supporting us. Name drop anybody. Oh, yeah. Please follow, subscribe. Twitter and Instagram are salt_tier pod. Everything else is salt tier. Everything else is salt tier podcast. I am Loud and Brown, also known as the Lucky Bandit. If you want to fight me, I'm Gross Steph with a PH. And I think that's my intro. Yeah, I got no one else to plug. I'm going down to the Dynamic Hunter.
Hello. It's me, Sage Bell. You can find me on Twitch usually every Tuesday, Thursday, and occasional weekends. Since we're running dungeons and there's an event happening in SakuraCon, everything's chaos. But I do Stream Raiders, which is a browser-based game that you can play during stream. in addition to we should be doing a Back for Blood campaign run on Tuesday. So hopefully this cosplay will be far enough along that I won't be doing a Stream Riders cosplay sewing thing. So I'll be at SakuraCon this weekend, so there will be no Thursday stream. So I will likely do a Tuesday, Wednesday stream. And I don't know if I've played any video games this last week other than Dead by Daylight with Stotts, who will be in town, and we will go say hi to Derek.
Oh, yeah. Also,
AKA Hadariku Girl.
Someone may have just popped into our chat.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I saw him a minute ago. I was meaning to bring this up. He agrees with me with SCP is a wild ride. It is.
Yeah,
it's a
then jump in that chat, Savoring. What are you doing?
It's a giant rabbit hole.
Get in
here. So be warned.
What is SCP anyways?
We could have a whole show on that. Actually, you know what? I wouldn't be, hey, I see Keith the Boogie's watching in there. I think the possibility of having an SCP based like podcast would be a cool thing. So
what's the abbreviation?
It stands for two things. It stands for it's an organization. It's a fictional organization. It stands for it's kind of like their unofficial motto. It's secure, contain, and protect. Okay. Basically, what they do is think the X-Files. Think
Fringe.
Think Fringe. Think Men in Black. Something like that, where they go around and all these anomalies, all these super like things that can't be explained. They go around and they capture them and they study them. And it's like this whole freaking rabbit hole that you can go down. It's really cool, and it's all based on a wiki, and people make like YouTube videos out of it, and it's crazy. But anyway, and there's tons of video games. I actually looked on Steam, and there's like, because it's not like a corporate owned IP, anybody can make anything for it. So if you go on Steam, there's like 30 games. There's like 30 SCP games. Most of them are of, like maybe like one or two people worked on it kind of for fun type quality, but there's a couple that are actually pretty good, and I've been looking through those as well. So I was like, why haven't I ever seen this before? And so I looked on Steam, and yeah, there's like 15 or 20 games already. Huh. But we can get into it later. But pretty much, if any of that sounds interesting to you, times 100, yeah, it's definitely good. It's a wiki. Just type in like SCP wiki on Google or something, and you'll find it. But be warned, if you're into stuff like that, it is a definite rabbit hole.
Isn't everything on the internet a rabbit hole?
Yeah, I see Hariku go talking about SCP-682. That's the hard to kill lizard. And that's a whole rabbit hole you could fall into.
Lizards.
Yes. It's just basically this giant talking lizard it's intelligent, it can speak, it hates all life, and there's no way to kill it. So they have it captured and they do all this stuff with it. The only way to like mostly immobilize it is to put it in a big vat of hydrochloric acid, because it regenerates quickly. But if you submerge it in acid, it kind of like overwhelms it and has to like kind of shut down for a bit. But they've tried all these other ways to kill it. It always breaks out. Its background is murky. It's really fascinating to fall into. It's like somebody made this up and just wrote this on a wiki, and it's like one of the coolest things I've ever like read or seen in my life. But yeah, 682 is a really good one. I have a couple favorite ones. But yeah, we can move on. As far as what I've been playing, I've been prepping and kind of getting ready for the new patch for Final Fantasy 14. Which should go live at 3 a.m. tonight. Actually, the server's been shut down all day because it's a pretty substantial update that they're doing. So I've been just playing that and just prepping my guy for it. There's an Easter event I think that starts on Thursday, in that game as well. And other than that, surprise, I went back and I started playing Stellaris, because I think I mentioned here on the show that they did like a big update for that game maybe about a month ago, where they changed one of the main resources. One of the main resources that you always had before was Unity. And you would use it for very specific things. And it was a currency. You'd also use it to level up too, like to unlock skill trees and stuff. But in a newer update, they made it so a lot more things take that currency, and there's more and more varied ways to generate it. And one of the most overpowered empires in the game, whether it's the default one or whether you take it and kind of make it your own, is the United Earth government. And it's kind of like Ideal Earth. It's kind of like Starfleet. Okay. But if in the vanilla game, if you use the vanilla version of them, they're overpowered and they just kind of like fart Unity. And then I have a custom version of them where they just like wake up in the morning and piss Unity. So I just played through a playthrough of that, and they're pretty much Starfleet. And toward like the middle of the game, you're pretty much unstoppable, because all the things that you can spend on Unity, you level up super quick, and you have like ultimate immigration pull, which means you're basically like Space America. Like everyone like wants to move here. and everyone's just like, hey, there's stuff to do here, and you literally can't build places fast enough for people to work. So after a while, your economy just goes insane, and everybody likes you, and you're just kind of like, okay, I guess I win the game now, and that's kind of what happened, and it was pretty fun. So those are the 2 games I've been playing. I've kind of dabbled and played some other stuff. I played actually, hold on, I have to look it up. I went through and I did go through my library, and I did play some things that have just been sitting there like forever. And some of them are games that we've talked about here on the podcast, and I finally kind of went back to it. Here, let me look at my recently played list here. Internet's going slow for some reason. Anyway,
are you on the fiber?
I believe I am. I played the Berserk game, Berserk and the Band of the Hawk. It's okay. I played Unpacking, Sage Bell. That game's really interesting, actually.
Did you finish it?
No, I got to the part where you decorate like your kid, like your room when you're a kid, and then it kind of skips forward to like your first apartment, and you have like the multiple rooms. So I started doing those, but I was like, I'll come back to this, and I will.
Okay, so you're only in like college right now.
Yeah. Is it your dorm room or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
So I played Unpacking. I played Town Scraper, which is this game that I saw. I think like Xbox at ID, like their independent developers conference.
Xbox.
Yeah, ID at Xbox. I think I might have saw it there, or I might have seen it at E3 or something. But basically, it's not really like a game where there's like an objective. You do get points and you do get to progress, but it's not like you beat it. It's kind of like Flow or Flower or I guess Journey had into it. But Flow or Flower, like those games that were on like the PS3 when you were kind of like a blade of grass blowing in the wind, and it wasn't really, but it was still fun to play, and it was kind of artsy. This is in the same way, and you're basically like building up this town like on an island. And I guess you just kind of like want to make it like as geometric and it's pretty, but you can also make it kind of crazy, like a Miyazaki movie. You can also make it something like that. So I played that for a little bit. That was interesting. I played SCP: The Foundation, which was fun but kind of broken because it's just kind of like a hobby. Somebody just like, I want to make an SCP game, so they made one and just threw it up on Steam. I played Strange Brigade, which is a game that came out about 2 or 3 years ago. It's kind of like a Left 4 Dead meets Indiana Jones type game, where you're playing up to four people, and you're running through these like dungeons and you're like and tombs and stuff like that, and you're fighting these monsters, and everybody's got like their own little specialty. So it's like a team shooter. It's like a team shooter Left 4 Dead meets Tomb Raider meets Indiana Jones type thing, or Uncharted or whatever you want to call it. And I played a little bit of Elden Ring. I haven't played too much because I've been playing it on the PS5 actually over at my neighbor's house. So actually, I haven't really been playing. I've been kind of like armchair quarterbacking, watching him play it, and he beat it. So I haven't really been playing my own copy of it. I'll circle back to it. So that's what I've been playing. Find me on Steam at the Save Rings. Join our Steam group. Hot Rico Girl, try to don't blow it for us or anything, but we do give away free games on there. I say that because we owe Hot Rico a girl like I don't know, like 10 games at this point.
Hey, well deserved.
Mm-hmm. So
also your Twitter, please. I know you're not super active, but you know,
a
little more functional than on DBS.
Yes, I do lurk on Twitter, and I do trash people from time to time on Twitter. I'm more of a lurker, but yeah, if you do want to follow me, it's V Gaming. And you'll recognize that it's a little Microsoft.
That's a pretty clutch handle to have, by the way. That's hilarious.
Yeah, because that's how they do the aliases over there. If you're a vendor, you're a V dash. So I know
that's genius. It's kind of like my alter ego, Driftwood, somehow got a hold of the Party Hard Seattle Instagram. Like I can't believe no one had that.
That's true.
Scoop that up.
Yeah.
That said, before we move on to topics, I do want to bring up something that I brought in the chat and no one has jumped on. Talk about SCP lore and, you know, kind of just fringe Monster of the Week kind of stuff. Are you familiar with the Omegaverse of fan fiction? Lindsay Ellis kind of went at arms at that.
Yes.
Is there some crossover with that?
There may be some shout out to it in some of them, because as of right now, basically in all the different anomalies are called SCPs. It also stands for standard containment procedures. So they're numbered. So the one that Hariku Girl was talking about is number 682. That's the hard to kill lizard and stuff like that.
I just Googled it, and sure enough, SCP-4321, the Omegaverse Mega Prime, or Omegaverse SCP-49, and there is some crossover. Goodness gracious! And to the maniacs out there, you know what? No, I'm going to let them ruin their search queries. Go ahead and look at what the Omegaverse is and type fanfic and say, thank you, London. It 100% is that. It 100% knows that, but you understand that if secure, control, protect, whatever, that all could bleed over to that so easily, so
Yeah.
easily.
And it does. It bleeds over into a lot of different things because the nature of it, alternate universes, dimensional portals, all these kind of things. So there are like vampires. I think SCP-008 actually is the zombie plague, and they have it contained. So it's pretty cool. So I would love to see. I don't know. It's a whole rabbit hole.
You would love to see an Omegaverse crossover. Is that what you were gonna say?
I mean, there already is, but I haven't read those.
No,
yet.
you would love to see it yourself, though.
I don't even know. I don't know.
Okay. Well, moving on. We got topics.
Yeah.
Yes, let's move on to the first one. That looks like it's gonna be grown-ass man. We're talking about Sony and Lego. Okay.
Yes.
Who's reporting this? Epic Games is recording this?
It's Epic Games, and I also have an article here from NPR reported on it as well.
All right, NPR I'll take. Go ahead, take it away.
So basically, Epic Games, they got a $2 billion cash injection from Sony. They get put in $1 billion, and from Kirkby, the family who owns the Lego Group. And pretty much this money is going to go into an investment into Epic Games developing their section of the metaverse. We're just gonna gloss over that.
We're gonna gloss over that. I don't know how they're still trying to make that happen, but go ahead.
Well, here's the thing: if anyone has like the best clue of how to do it, or execute it, or already has something that functionally at its most basic it would be someone like Epic with something like Fortnite. It would be someone like Blizzard with World of Warcraft. It would be someone like whoever owns is it Variant? Does Variant still own EverQuest? It would be someone like that. Like someone with a full-on world. As a matter of fact, in the novels for Ready Player One, Azeroth was a world that you can get into your jet or your spaceship and fly to, and when you landed and got out, you change into your World of Warcraft carrier, and that's how you played the game. Same thing with Norath, and both of those places. Norath is the world that EverQuest takes place on. Both of those places were called out by name in Ready Player One, and those are actually places in a universe that you could fly to and get out and actually play the game. So same thing with Fortnite. You can land on whatever the Fortnite world's called. So there's
precedent.
Yeah, so that's about all I got because it's pretty lame, and this was just something that should have been reported on, and I thought we'd bring it up here. You guys have any thoughts, feelings, confusion, anger?
Scotty, anything?
Yeah,
what's Scotty say? They got the butler from Mr. Deeds.
Oh yeah, Mr. Deeds. You talking about SCP? Yeah, there is a SCP called Mr. Deeds, and you can write on a piece of paper what you want him to do, and he'll literally go do it. So if you're
and the butler that's just John Turturro, right?
Yeah. So you can write out on a piece of paper.
You know what's so funny? Is that guy's such a chameleon? He's done very hilarious roles, and he's been sinister sons of bitches in some other movies, man. He's like a great actor.
Yep. Most definitely. Those comedic funny actors do usually have the widest range.
Noted.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like it at least.
No, you're right.
Robin Williams can make you cry.
Yeah. You got Jim Carrey.
And was it 1 Hour Photo where Robin Williams was the villain?
Yeah, was it crazy? Yeah. You got Jim Carrey, who's also a great dramatic actor. Yeah, you got a lot of that stuff.
All right.
Going on.
Well, moving on. Suck it, Lego.
Yeah. We're just move on from that.
I saw some of the people I follow on Twitter commenting on this, and they were like, whoa, this patch is a doozy. Now, can you run everybody? Like, it's 8:22. Can we do this in 4 minutes?
Yes.
Okay, go.
Because it's a lot, and if I spoke any further on it, it would be spoiler territory. If you were ever meaning to play the game, which I highly suggest, you could play through most of the game for free. You're using the free trial.
You're burning time. Go.
No, it's fine. There's a huge patch, a huge update coming to Final Fantasy XIV, where they're adding a lot of features. Some of them they've been teasing and people have been wanting to know since the original launch of 1.0 back in 2010. This is also going to continue the story because, like they do, there's a main patch that's the full expansion and the full story, and then they'll release sections after that. So there'll be like right now they're on 6. It'll be 6.1, 6.2, all the way up to about 6.5, and then usually they do like a half. So it usually ends on like something 0.55, and then those last few ones will lead into whatever the next expansion is. So this is the first new section of that new story. So you got that. You got these new profile plates that you can make, and then that's a minor thing, but people are gonna go nuts with those things. So it's gonna be really fun to see like what people come up with those. I'll be sure to post those someplace after I do that with my character. There's more gathering things. There's more. There's a new dungeon. There's a new raid that's also very lore heavy with lots of things people have been wanting to see. It's just gonna be pretty huge, and I'm looking forward to it. And I'll have more of an update and stuff next week. But I thought I would touch on it this week because, yeah, what's up, Jick, down there in the thing? Because it is going to be pretty major. It is going to be pretty substantial. That looks like the Sony and Epic thing. Get them out of here with their metaverse. But yeah, that's about it. We can close on that.
Build the future of digital entertainment. Suck my balls.
And also, and it makes sense too, because a company like the people that own Legos, yes, that would make sense for there to be like a Lego world. Yeah,
I know that. Build. Okay, so wait a minute. Elden Ring. Someone beat Elden Ring in 9 hours.
No, that's 8 minutes and 46 seconds.
And is that a glitch? Oh, that's right. You can go straight to the end. It's just really, really, really hard.
He skipped all the bosses except for the last one, and he was using this weird teleporting thing, and it looks like it's actually like in the game. So it's not like he used any hack or anything like that. It's actually everything that's in the game. And he did a few other things too. Like when he was falling, he swung his sword two-handed, and it slowed him down just enough where he didn't die.
Here we go.
And previously, this guy, and if you listen to this, he's like talking to like his girlfriend.
Elden Ring. She's going for sub 30 in the zipless category, guys.
Yeah. So basically, he's talking to like his girlfriend, who's also a speedrunner, while he's doing it, and he skips all the way to the end. Yeah, and he figured out like if you open that front door and then exit and come back, it starts you off like past the front door.
Is actually fighting stuff,
and it's like quicker than actually opening the door and running to that spot. So he's doing things like that.
Like, I'm gonna do the sit category when I
so yeah, but previously this guy was the world record holder, and then they patched it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Then they patched it, so you couldn't use those exploits anymore. So he came back, and now he beat it in under 9 minutes. And his previous record,
nice.
Yeah, see that?
What the hell was that?
I don't know.
Let's go, baby.
I don't know. I don't know what he did.
I
saw it.
If you're a Washington homeowner,
But anyway.
2022.
You don't have the blocks. That's okay.
But yeah, that was just something I would throw out there. I know Elden Ring is.
We should cut it, right? So we don't spoil the ending.
Yes.
Okay.
So you
cut it.
cut that. So basically, what had happened was, this guy who had the previous record, which I think was 21 minutes, they patched out some things so you couldn't do that anymore, and now his record is under 9 minutes. So yeah, dreams do come true.
Ta-da-da!
Yep.
Well, sick and cool. I guess.
Next we're
that's a sight to see.
Next, we're going to talk about a rarity, which is actually becoming something that's a little bit more commonplace. An actual watchable, decent, maybe good video game.
I know. I was going to watch it today, but instead I wanted to make sure I saw everything all the time. At the same time with Michelle Yeoh. Like, I wanted to watch that in theaters first.
Okay. How was that, by the way?
Everything Everywhere, all of the whatever. Oh, God damn it. What the hell was it called?
How was it, by the way?
It's amazing.
Okay.
It was very, very good. Yeah, Everything Everywhere all at once. It was the same director. First off, one of the directors is Daniel K. Kwan from Goonies. It's
like
Data.
like Goonies?
Yeah, like it's Short Round.
What else would we be talking
Really?
about?
And Short Round is one of the directors?
Yeah, he's also
Crazy.
in the movie, and one of the other directors is a different Daniel, Daniel Scheinert. And Scheinert did Swiss Army Man. So he's like known for these really high concept, bizarre, kind of movies.
Okay.
So
that's cool. So you're gonna go from that to Sonic 2 next. Speaking of weird segues, so this movie comes out, it does about $80 million at the box office, which is excellent for a movie of this type, especially people are still getting back into the habit of going to the movies and things like this. Just in time for Sega to talk about their brand new Super Gaming and their NFTs.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate.
It is unfortunate. These companies are so trying to make NFTs a thing and to try to normalize them in video games. So yeah, $71 million. While Michael Bay's ambulance stalls. That's never a sentence that you want your ambulance stalling.
Yeah, that's also very surprising. I think Michael Bay probably had some. What's the word I'm looking for? When nope,
Residual
I'm
income.
losing it right now.
Which is easy to do when talking about Michael Bay.
Yeah, no. Well, when you think you got it all in the bag and you get kind of hoodwinked and you weren't, whatever. I think he underestimated gamers and indie film people because he opened against Everything Everywhere and Sonic 2.
Oh, I got you.
And,
Yeah, it's Michael Bay though. Like, what would you expect? I mean,
yeah,
that sounds like a Michael Bay move.
hubris. His hubris kicked him in the buns. But look, Marvel and DC didn't want to open against Sonic 2. They got nothing this week. You know?
No, I mean Marvel doesn't do anything until closer to my birthday.
Yes. And
yeah,
I gotta figure out.
And Marvel intentionally likes to pick dates where there's nothing else. Like they'll do that on purpose.
And actually, if we're gonna be honest, Marvel released their release dates over a year ago. Sonic 2 and Everything Everywhere chose to not go against them.
Just like Batman v Superman.
Mm-hmm.
How they announced that movie and then they announced Captain America Civil War and then DC was like, "Nah, I think we'll move."
Yeah, exactly. They're bullies. That said, I don't think anybody was afraid of opening against Morbius.
Oh man, I've heard that is nothing but a stinker.
That's for another podcast. But Sonic 2, good for them. I heard it does well, and I will watch it. Heck, I might watch it tomorrow. I got my Regal Pass, baby.
Nice. So yeah, I brought that up to also bring up the fact that they take that goodwill and they're like, "Hey guys, our NFTs, huh?"
Boo!
Yeah. Moving on, and then we'll go to our little break here. This is crazy. This is something that was pointed out to me the other day, and I almost couldn't believe it. I had to look it up. So if you want to go to that first link there, London, the WCCF Tech. If you take a look here, would you guys believe me if I told you that the Xbox has outsold the PS5 for the last 2 months in North America?
Jesus.
Xbox One?
The Xbox Series.
Series, I don't remember what we're at anymore.
Yes, we're at the Series. So the Series S and the Series X has outsold the PlayStation 5 in the last 2 months in North America.
Has PlayStation 5 even come back into stock?
That's the whole thing. And what got me down this rabbit hole was I saw a report, and it was a rumor, but from a pretty credible source who's been correct in the past before, how Microsoft paid for priority in manufacturing. So they paid AMD to be like, hey, if you ever have a line that opens up, we've got money here on deck for you. Start, make, if you have a line that opens up and you don't know what to do with it, make Xbox stuff on it, please, and we'll pay you for it. So the result is there's plenty more Xbox stock in stock. So people are just buying it up because I want a new system, and what they see is an Xbox, so they grab it. And of course they've probably heard of Game Pass, so that's been helping them too. So that's pretty crazy.
Game Pass did a Super Bowl commercial.
I think they did too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was pretty big. Game Pass is getting pretty big. Last report we saw, it was up to about 25 million paying active subscribers, which for $15 a month, that's a pretty good chunk of change. So yeah, thoughts, feels on this? Did you guys ever think you'd see this day come? Is it surprising at all? Sage Bell was pretty much right on the head right there. Like, as far as, can you even buy a PS5? So
yeah, it doesn't. Oh, hold on. Vince is in here. Xbox sells more because they can produce more. That's about it. It's an economy, scalpers and shit. Whoever has inventory wins.
Boom. There you go. Yep. Flood the market with it.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that totally works.
I'm never gonna buy an Xbox console because I have a PC.
True.
I know with the.
It's kind of redundant.
Yeah. You can use Game Pass on the PC though.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Vince could probably chime in on this too. When it was 360 versus PS3, there was a problem with developers and the PlayStation Cell engine, right?
Yeah, because all three were
So
different. So in PCs, you had your x86 architecture, and your 360, it had like a tri-core Power PC, which was made by Apple back then, kind of thing, and with some other graphics. And then the cell chip in the PlayStation 3 was just a nightmare. That thing was a complete custom thing.
yeah,
And if you could
so
tap it, it was powerful, but it took a lot for you to figure
sure.
it out and tap it. So
No
yeah.
Power is IBM, not Apple. Oh, Power is IBM, not Apple.
Thank you. It was
Thank
also
you. Vince with the facts, hard facts.
It was also in Macs and stuff back then. That's what I was thinking.
Got it. So that being said, so the generation after that was PS4 versus Xbox One.
Where they basically did the opposite of those, and they made them x86, not off the shelf, but almost a one-to-one with what most people had in their PCs. So.
What I'm saying to Vince is, it's not always what's more of. I don't think. If all things are equal, then it probably comes to who has the surplus.
Yeah.
But there's always there's some hang up. For example, there probably were plenty of Dreamcasts. They got a year head start, but they didn't have internet. I mean, they didn't play DVDs.
Yep, it was a DVD thing that killed them.
Yeah. Yes. So it is specific to this economy. Yeah. So for this economy, it's about having, these are all, I think every generation of consoles has had a different variable. Like right now it's part shortages, and with the poor Saturn, it was the
quote unquote marketing was the downfall. I would say the last generation, the Xbox One, it was the horrible launch announcement. Like they almost never recovered from that. So that was one of the companies kind of shooting themselves in the foot. When normally you don't really see that.
I think one of the last really good, I mean, obviously the Genesis versus the SNES, that was a fantastic race.
Yes, because both of those came out strong, and they both had their audience. And then
PlayStation 2 versus Xbox, that was like seeing America get split into the elephants and the donkeys. Because for a time, it felt like everybody just kind of gamed, and then all of a sudden, Xbox was where you played sports and shooters, and it was extreme and Mountain Dew, and all of a sudden PlayStation leaned into JRPGs and fighters, and I was like, "Whoa, when was this division?" You're right, it came out of nowhere. People just like cut the gaming community in half.
Yeah,
and then like we said, PlayStation 3 was just hard to develop for, and man, the Xbox 360 kind of just ran away with it. That was such a clear winner. Like, I bought an Xbox. I'm not even an Xbox guy, but that's what I swapped over, because I had a PlayStation 2, I had a PlayStation, I had a Genesis. I was on that side of the aisle. Anyway, goodness, that was a rant. Vince rants. Look at that. We ranted because of Vince rants.
Triggered.
Oh God, and of course Vince has to chime in on this. Yo, Vince, what you know about crypto gamings? Huh?
Oh yeah, that's right. Xbox Arcade was pretty big. Oh, the crypto gaming one? This one, I'll try to make this short. But speaking of NFTs, one of their biggest gaming, up to this point, it was one of their it was the biggest crypto gaming success story up to that point. It's a game called Axie Infinity. Just think Pokemon, where the Pokemon are NFTs. So you catch your monster, you raise them, you customize them, you teach them different move sets and stuff like that, and they're yours, and you can sell them for real money because they have real value because they're on the blockchain. So that got scammed out of $620 million. And how it happened was the game was too big for its own success. What ended up happening was the developers, I believe, went to the publishers and were like, "Hey, there's too many people trying to buy these things. We don't have enough bandwidth to authenticate all these transactions. So can we do it on our end?" So they said yes. And after their big like rush and people buying things started to taper off a little bit. So they shut all that down. But what happened was they left that old authentication system open on a server. Someone found it and exploited it and was able to backdoor through there and grab a whole bunch of NFTs and blah blah blah, equaling over $600 million. So for everybody who's like laughing and rejecting these NFTs because these companies are trying to push it, it's like things like this is why people don't trust it. So that happened. That was a thing. Does Vince Rants got something for this? But yeah, it was pretty big. And that's not the only one. There was another one a few weeks ago that was also for $200 million, but that one was the newest one and the largest one.
It feels like fake money. It feels so.
It
all
is.
Computer security is not good. NFTs or not. LMAO.
Yep.
Lamau.
Lamau.
So
I love
you
Lamaus.
want to take us to our break there? You want to take us to our break there, Go Steph?
Oh yeah. So Maniacs, if you're just joining us right now, we are Saltier Podcast, home of some of the smartest sons of bitches you'll ever meet. I am Loud and Brown. We got Sage Bell.
Wow. London got deep on us right there. All money is made up of ones and zeros. The economy is a shared delusion. Wow. Somebody red pilled London over there.
Wow, that's what the pills do.
Anyway, we are still brought to you by Voodoo Ranger IPA. I guess we didn't talk about what Sage Bell was drinking and how do you like it?
The Agent 77 IPA. It is a 7.7. It's their moderately alcohol high. I don't know what to say there. It's 1% higher than others, but not as high as some of their other ones.
Nice.
It reminds me of the podcast when I drink it. Is that a weird thing? It gives me nostalgia when I drink it now.
Nice.
At this point, we've been drinking Voodoo. We've been drinking Voodoo for over 2 years, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty tight.
Voodoo Ranger makes like the smoother IPA. So usually when you get an IPA, you're like, oh, it's hoppy. Voodoo Ranger is a little bit more juicy, so it's less hoppy. This one is probably an equal blend of the fruity flavor to the hoppy flavor.
Nice.
Sounds like Voodoo Ranger needs to sponsor your Twitch feed, your Twitch account too. You hear that, Lauren? Sup? Because they came in clutch for bonus round. I'm sure they could throw some shillings. I mean, you post more than us. That's for sure. You're definitely more consistent.
Shilling cider.
Yeah, just throwing some shine out there. And yeah, Maniacs, by the way, my good friend that I've never met, but my good friend Cosmonaut Variety Hour has pleaded to please not support.
Basically you. Is he your clone?
Yeah, not really, because he's probably not as good at fighting games and way better at shooters and way more knowledgeable about film. That guy knows about film. For
Is he a
real.
drummer?
Probably not. He does know a lot about anime too. That said, you gotta support with your pocket. I know everybody thinks $5, $10 doesn't really matter, but it does when it's in hundreds of thousands. So do not watch Morbius, or Sony is gonna think that people want that. Like it's a bad movie. Show them that they're wrong. Go out there, spend dollars on Sonic, which they obviously tried very hard. Listen to the fans, and from all accounts that I'm hearing, it's a fantastic movie. Also, if you can, go support the indie weird films like Everything Everywhere All at Once. Come on.
And to be honest, and speaking on that, Loud and Brown, to be honest, I love seeing this happen because I always think like, when especially like with this Marvel and Sony deal, I wanted them being Sony to go ahead and make the movies that they're going to fart out there anyway, because then people will be able to see the difference between when they work with Marvel and then when they go off and do their own thing. So compared to Spider-Man, was it No Way Home, which also on repeat viewings does not hold up well, at least for me.
Oh, not without the crowd.
Yeah,
all those weird pauses.
Yeah, that movie does not hold up well on repeat viewings. Jacob Monte Crisco here in chat, we had that discussion yesterday how that movie does not hold up.
No Way Home's the newest
one,
right?
Endgame? Oh, go ahead, Sage.
Yeah, what's up, Sage?
I said No Way Home's the newest one, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't rewatch it.
Yeah,
it's in its first run.
Yep.
Is it like Endgame where it's callbacks and fan? What's what I'm looking for?
It's like Endgame, but Endgame
fan
is
service
still...
and like, look, we're giving you the thing you want.
We'll see. The thing with Endgame is they did do a good job of wrapping it all up. Like they pretty much did stick the landing, and because of that, it's more watchable. It's more charming. It's a little bit more spread out redeeming. Not to say that the last Spider-Man wasn't charming. It has its charms to it, but
It's definitely charming.
yeah,
I've heard that the Spider-Man trilogy is one of the best Marvel trilogies.
it's
It's
pretty good
better than Thor.
overall.
People like
yes.
it more than Iron Man.
Ooh.
Oh, the entire staff aside, No Way Home was amazing. Sets up the next phase is a masterpiece. Oh, sorry. That's from
You
Keith the
were
Boogie.
saying
That
it's
ain't
not
London. I
amazing.
know that's Keith the Boogie. That ain't London.
Yeah,
I liked it, but it is
I
weird
liked
the
it a
little
lot.
pauses they put in there.
Yeah.
It's like taking out the laugh track in Friends.
yeah.
I feel like they should have just continued with it. It would demand a second viewing if there was no pause.
You know what it reminds me of?
Right?
It reminds me of like, have you ever watched like the behind the scene footage of like how they filmed the first Star Wars? It's pretty funny because like in your head you know how Star Wars looks and sounds, but then when you watch like the original behind the scenes footage, Harrison Ford's literally running around with like a wooden gun going bang bang bang, and like they're all like the stormtroopers are all like they're all yelling bang bang back at each other. So to me, like multiple viewings
It's
without the
pretty good.
crowd is pretty much like that.
So for example, I'm trying to think of what movie. Okay. I mean Anchorman, aging myself, but when I saw Anchorman, I had to see it a second time because there were at least 3 scenes where I was laughing so hard I didn't hear the next 2 or 3 jokes.
Yes, that's a good
Like,
movie.
I
'cause
was-
I remember when that movie
after the-
came out, I did the same thing.
After the flute scene, I was crying. And then all of a sudden it was the next scene. I go, I don't even know what's happening with the story. I'll just
Dude.
finish the movie. And then a week later, someone said they haven't seen it. I go, let's go. That's what Spider-Man should have done. I don't think they realized they had that power. Like they obviously left pauses for laughs and gasps and applauses. Because if you rewatch Endgame, they didn't really leave pauses. Like during that Captain America fight, everybody's just screaming.
You know why?
He doesn't stop fighting. Why?
You know, it's for that reason I was just talking about. Endgame was Marvel themselves. They knew what they were doing. Boom, boom, boom. They had all the beats and they rushed through it. You look at Spider-Man, those gaps and like little things missing. It's because Sony probably wanted to do something, and Marvel was like, you might want to like reel that back in, or maybe we could do this instead. So it seemed like
that's Sony meddling. Because yeah, I could see Sony doing that. Because you're right, Sony will take the reins of stuff they think they did research on, and they'll be like, no, you didn't, man. You're just copying us.
Like Morbius, like Venom. Like whatever else they did, like Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2.
Yeah, and for the record, Moon Knight is doing a better Venom currently.
You know what's weird? I have not watched that yet.
No spoilers.
They're like on episode 3 and I haven't watched it yet.
Episode 3 drops tomorrow night.
Okay.
So we're still new.
Is that on HBO?
It is on Disney Plus. Moon Knight is a Marvel superhero.
Young Justice is on HBO Max, and that's an excellent show. And if you haven't been watching that at all, that's great.
Oh, you know what got better after the first season, and the first season was absolute shit?
What's that?
Titans.
The live action one?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what I hear too. I remember when they showed the trailer for that, everybody was dunking on it, and then they came out and they're like, hey, you know what? It's actually not that bad. And then like the second season came out, and everybody was like, oh my god, this is great. And then they canceled it.
They were like, oh no, it's still going.
Oh, it's still going? Titans is?
Yeah, I think they're on season 5.
Oh.
Okay.
Keith the Boogie is not happy with my statement. Sorry. I didn't have a problem with Venom, by the way. I thought it was a great movie. I just think Moon Knight is doing a better job.
The thing with Venom is Venom would have been a really good comic book movie before 2008. Like if it came out in 2007, it would have been like one of
Holy cow!
It would have been
no
like
one would be able to handle it.
Yeah, it would have been like one of the better comic book movies up until that point. Yeah, but it came out after.
It would have been on par with Blade 2.
Yeah,
it would be like Blade 2 or.
It would have been as good as like X-Men or X-Men 2. Yeah. People would have it on that same level, but because it came out after Iron Man and after Batman Begins, you got to do better. You got to do better, Senator.
All right. Hard stop. We got a couple more to go. That was a weird tangent. Hi, we're the Saltier Podcast, and apparently we're also Everyday Comics Podcast. Wait, what was the old comic book podcast called?
That was Evil Petting Zoo.
Heavy Petting Zoo. Got it.
Evil petting zoo.
Heavy
We
petting
did-
zoo.
we
Heard you
did
the
joke with
first
that
time.
name. We did joke with that
I-
name though.
You have to lift it.
I said it by accident. Well, I listened to a lot of No Effects, so it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, your final topic, V-Dash. We're talking about a little thing that I
We
feel
still
like,
going?
I feel like
Nice.
Vince. Yeah, you still have a GameStop
Oh
post.
snap!
Yeah,
Wait, up this whole
and
episode.
yeah, I feel like Vince might actually have some GameStop stock. But go ahead, talk about this one real quick.
I do. Guess who's riding GameStop to the moon, all the way to the moon. So GameStop is going to do a stock split, and basically what that means is they pretty much cut their stock in half and double it for the people that already own it, just so they have more shares of the company to sell. So this is great if you've been diamond hands in it and you've been holding on to your GME to the moon. Last I looked, this is like a week ago, it was like $170 still, which is excellent for stock that was $9 like 2 years ago. So yeah, they're doing a stock split. If you got the stock, hold on to it because you're about to get paid some more. If you're looking to get into the stock, look to see to maybe buy some the day they do split it. And we're just gonna just ride this out and put the squeeze on all these hedge funds that bet against the market and try to duplicate money and do an infinite money glitch. And now they're about to get infinitely money glitched. So yeah, let's do that. So that's about it.
Okay.
Let's just breeze on because I've been eating up the whole podcast.
Yeah, it's okay. Now we're moving on to. I got two quick ones, and
up?
London with a Y. If you're still on there and not on TikTok, I have the Kingdom Hearts video with a link on row 10.
This
I
was
would
the
love for you to
weirdest,
play.
most unexpected thing, like maybe so far this year that wasn't like mainstream news.
Yeah, like who knew? Who saw this coming? I felt like it was like we just played Kingdom Hearts 3.
That's what I said. Like the game just came out like what, like last year, or the year before?
No, I played it last year, but Kingdom Hearts 3.
Kingdom Carts. Let's go.
Came out-
I like it.
Kingdom Farts came out in 2019. So it technically has been 3 years. So let me see.
So
Kingdom Hearts, the original, came out.
on the
Try to
PS1.
guess.
On the
I know, but
PS1.
I
so
hear
like,
you.
So like 1999?
Wait, that wasn't a PS2 game?
No, the first one was a PS1 game.
They were
I thought-
no, they were both PlayStation 2, my buddy.
Okay.
November 2002. Oh, March 2002.
Okay.
Okay. And then hold on. Games.
Yeah, look at this. Look at this photorealistic.
And then but see, Kingdom Hearts 3, Kingdom Hearts 2 was 2005, so 3 years. So technically, the difference between Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 is the same as the difference between Kingdoms 3 and 4. And understandably, Tetsuya Nomura did Advent Children and he did that fighting game too that was only on mobile and PSP. And wasn't he involved with Final Fantasy 15?
Something. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. What's that? I forgot what that fighting game is.
Yeah, well, he did Erg Heights, but that's before whatever.
Look at this.
Oh yeah,
Look at
he
this
did.
mess.
He did Kingdom Hearts. He did character design on Final Fantasy X2. He did the Kingdom Hearts mobile games. Oh, that's right. He's been doing mobile games for like the entire time. Oh, he was also a graphic supervisor for Mario Hoops 3-on-3. He did Dirge of Cerberus, Final Fantasy V Advance, Dissidia. That's what it was called. He was in charge of Dissidia. He was the creative producer.
Look
And
at this.
then-
What are we even watching? What is this? This trailer's crazy.
What do you mean? It's him, like as a college student, fighting a Heartless.
I know, but it's just like out of context. If this is your first time seeing it, you'd be like, "What the fuck is going on?"
He's got a. So the thing that was most surprising to me and some of my other big fans is that it's still co-produced by Disney. At the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, spoilers, it looks like they were giving a clean out for Disney to not be part of it, and it was going to be the Nomura Square universe forever. And then I saw this, I go, they're going to still let Disney be, Disney's going to still let them be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Blew my mind.
Which is
So we're
weird
gonna
because Disney hates video games. So yeah,
They
you're
do.
right. Yeah.
But the best part for me of Kingdom Hearts 3 was the Disney tie-ins. They did great stuff with Toy Story 3 and 4. They did great stuff with Frozen. I had a
Wait.
okay.
Disney
Thank you.
themselves?
London, we're good.
Disney themselves?
Disney themselves?
Yeah, you're talking about Disney themselves did a great job.
Oh, but the implementation of Kingdom Hearts 3
Oh, okay.
of those games, like that
Okay.
that was actually my favorite part.
Okay.
When they would get really wax poetic of the mobile game that came out in 2004, me as a hardline Kingdom Hearts fan is like, I'm sorry. Like, this is a not fair comparison, but that would be like playing King of Fighters 2015, continuing a story from a pachinko machine.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you didn't play KOF 2014 pachinko? You're not going to get this storyline at all. I'm like, come on, man.
Speaking of that, fun fact, this game is the 14th game in the series. Kingdom Hearts 4 is the 14th game in the series.
So many mobile games.
Yes.
So many portable games.
Yep.
And 5 of them hard reset as the ending. Sora was sleeping. I will say one thing. This is the first game where Sora does not have puffy shoes. He had normal boots in this.
That is
He
true.
still had clunky shoes in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah.
He sure did.
Let's take a look here. Let's take a look here in the chat. Elizabeth, yes, I see you. Disney's not going to completely let go of that cash cow. I don't really think it's the cash. I think they like having the mind share in video games, even though they don't make them anymore. So I think that's partly what it is. They like to have the mind share over there, so people go to Disney World in Japan because they know they still make Kingdom Hearts games. I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And Vince Rance is asking, is this Unreal Engine 5? That's pretty funny. Maybe it is. Who knows?
Okay, and then my last topic, I only have 2. My boy, Sugar Punch made a new video. Go ahead and click that. It's row 11 there, London. And he does the character design analysis. And he's been doing these character styles recently. And he does them now by vote from his Patreons. And he did an entire video on pro wrestling in fighting games and how it works. And if you all don't follow him yet on YouTube and you play fighting games, I don't know what the hell's the matter with you. He's awesome. Oh, unless you're an NRS fan, he's going to dump all over your game, so don't follow him. He hates the animation design of NRS games, but he's a big fan of well-designed characters and well-designed character animations. And it's funny because he's like me. He's a person of many hobbies, so he does connections to live theater action, and that's the closest representation we do have to pro wrestling, not MMA. Like, it's giving the theater without cuts, so it's like a cross section of stuntmen and theater actors, and how do you translate that to a video game? And it's brilliant the way, like, definitely check out that video. That's all I got for today. I've been Loud and Brown, #Lucky Bandit. And we're moving on to the Sage Bell topics, baby.
Hi.
Sorry it took so long.
Oh, hi. I can be quick. It's easy. E3 is officially canceled for the year. No online, no in person.
Oof.
Is there something that set that up? Like, is there a new variant that I didn't hear about? Knock on wood.
No, E3's just been circling the toilet for a long time. I think
Yeah,
they're over
E3,
it.
like, there's been so many other things, and other companies been doing indie versions, like their own pop-ups. E3 was just been kind of shitty the last few years.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember when they split E3 to be industry only, and then they went to executives only, and then they did E3 for all.
See, I
one in the same weekend.
I see right here, like they're still blaming.
Did I cut out?
I see they're still blaming COVID-19. No,
Hello?
we can hear you. No, we can hear you.
Oh, sorry, I saw spinners.
That's you. With
Anyway.
your internet, Derek, you're going downhill.
It's very, very much my internet.
Yeah. So yeah, it looks like they're blaming COVID-19, but I don't think that's why. I think they're just done with it.
Yeah, because PAX is going to go hard this year. You know that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got to also email Lauren and see if we could work. See if we could work the beer booth.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I mean, now that I'm a bartender. Officially had my last shift last night. It was rocky, but I got through it.
Yeah.
Nice.
I've technically been a bartender since 2010, and I bartended at Oddfellows for 2 years, but that's like a morning bartender. I did an evening at a busy bar in Capitol Hill.
Proud
Nice.
of you.
Yay!
Nice.
I clocked out at 2:30.
Oof.
AM. Okay.
Well, so no E3. Suck it.
Yeah, no E3. I do not remember what this one is. Oh, the U.S. Senate just trying to urge the FTC to scrutinize the merger for Microsoft Activision.
Okay.
The lack of accountability is the lawmakers are.
The hell is that supposed to mean? Just let it happen. Oh, and by the way, you said it wrong. It's Activision Blizzard King.
Yeah, you gotta throw the king on there.
Sorry, I
Gotta
was
throw the
reading
king.
the title.
I know.
The lack of accountability. So, what do they think? Microsoft is gonna like let the thing stay like that? Speaking from someone who has worked for Microsoft in the past, that they don't play all that shit. Like for real, like
Yeah.
They don't play that shit. So I don't see any of that continuing past this deal being finalized. So yeah, pretty much everybody who's going to be out.
Don't worry.
Yes, one way or the other, they'll be asked to leave. Yes. Yeah.
I'll be honest. I do miss Overwatch. I was getting wax poetic with. I said that twice. That's weird. I was getting reminiscent with some guests this weekend, and someone said they were asking for places to drink in the city. And I was like, "You trying to get a nice cocktail? You trying to party and meet people?" Like party. I go, "You been to Reinhouse?" He's like, "Did you say Reinhardt?" I go, "Hammer down!" And I just forgot about all the fun team synergies in that game that don't really exist to that level in Apex. Like comboing ults aren't the same thing. Like comboing ults in Overwatch are so much fun. They're so much fun. And
so destructive.
And I miss playing Ana. It took me like 2 years to figure out what my character was. And when I found Ana, it was the most fun thing ever. And then I found out that I didn't suck with her. Like I wasn't great, but I would get into that, silver easily. Almost gold depending on who I was with, And I'm like, I think I actually got an understanding of the game. I know how she plays.
As a group, during PDX LAN, we had a 12 stack of people just playing against each other. We all installed it at LAN, and we're like, we haven't played this in 3 years. Let's go.
Nice.
I know it's been a minute, and I hear the most recent balance is way more high paced. And the one thing I've never really liked about Overwatch is the shields. I love more of the idea of running for cover and then advancing, because shields is just something that just inhibits. I don't know. It's just never been a thing for me, especially in stages that have environmental shields. Like shields should be a thing that gets you by, not a thing that you 100% rely on. And that said, also shields make Ana have a hard time. So apparently the current patch is really cool for Ana mains, and she's just starting people. But hopefully, when Kotick gets kicked out, Overwatch 2 might not suck, and I'll start playing again. Yeah?
Nice.
And
Something.
Yeah.
All right, and then
topic.
Speaking of things being not played,
World of Tanks closed down their studios because they're a Russian-based company and Belarus-based company. So y'all can guess why.
Oh no.
Yeah. So there's no more World of Tanks because of the war.
It just
Wow.
ended, huh?
which is weird because those games took place in war.
Yeah.
Because their country's in war, they expect to take substantial loss as well. So they're like, we're just gonna.
They had such a fan base, though. I know people that love World of Tanks.
Yeah, all those world gaming games are extremely popular. To the point where I was playing World of Warships for maybe about 3 months, and that's a game I had to force myself to quit. As much as I play Final Fantasy and as much as I play Stellaris, I made myself quit World of Warships because I was way too addicted to that game, even more than these other two games. That's how good that game is.
back in like what 2010 or 11 is when this game came out, I think, or it might be a little older. But I was dating someone who was in the military, and he like, I learned so much about tanks and guns because of him and this game.
Yeah, I believe it. All those wargaming games are great, and they're popular for a reason. So it's a shame to see this one go because it's been around forever. And up until very recently, the wargaming games usually are a pretty good example of monetization in games where you can play through the game and you can enjoy the game and you can max out your character. And it doesn't really affect you too much if you didn't pay any money into the game. You can if you want, but it doesn't really affect anything. Even like the ships and the stuff that you buy in the game is not really an advantage. Like the ships that you buy in World of Warships, the ranks go up to rank 10. So you'll buy a ship and it's a rank 7 ship. So yes, you'll have a powerful ship, but you'll start off at rank 7 where everybody else has been grinding up to rank 7 and they're all good. So you might be able to pay for this powerful ship, but you're playing against like vets at that point and you're going to get slaughtered if you don't know what you're talking about or don't know what you're doing. So it doesn't really help you to pay for the ship. So yeah, unless you already know what you're doing, you get to rank 7 and then you buy the ship, then it might give you an advantage. So they were really good at doing things like that. So it is kind of sad to see this go because I know this is extremely popular game. Memes all over the place for this game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, remember everybody, you too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was gonna make a comment on that ad. You too could have plump lips and contoured. There was an ad for beauty products on that post.
Oh man, I have it up on my browser, and I have the flight attendants coming back to HBO.
Oh,
nice.
Oh, that's good. So, Maniacs, we come to the end. This is the last topic, and I want everybody for this to be the outro. I will start. It is officially spring, and SakuraCon is this weekend. There is gaming. Swear to God, I know an anime fighters tournament that goes on. It might be an unofficial, but there's a money pot, an entry. I forget who's running it. I'm sure Goon knows them because those are all the games he plays. It's going to be BlazBlue, Persona, Dragon Ball Z Fighters, maybe Guilty Gear. I feel like Guilty Gear is still too difficult for all the weebs, and they don't like playing it. But yeah, come at me, jackasses. And that's all that. I thank you for the link. That's all as up for information. We'll give you more information through the week through our Twitter and Instagram if we get it, or we'll just share whatever bonus round tells us is all about. Usually it's pretty good money or, a cool little trophy. Sometimes it'll be in conjunction with an anime brand. That said, if you're in anime brands, check out our homies over at BB Sama and Senpai Squad. They're going to have some sick gear this weekend. Senpai Squad! And give them some love. Be nice. Wear deodorant. If you are sick, wear a mask, you assholes. Now that masks...
You are required to wear a mask at the convention center. The entire time. Oh! Mask mandate is still valid for the convention.
That's good to know. Less people will get con flu.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, and we'll see at Comic-Con if it lets up. Yeah, if you're sick, just stay home.
Yeah.
That said, I hope things, pan out. I will try to go to SOC. Probably not. I got the parental units in town, and they don't watch anime. So I'm probably going to hang out with them and eat at overly priced Seattle brunch restaurants.
Nice.
Yay! Waiting in line, although if it's near Capitol Hill, I won't have to wait in line because I'm cool like that. Just kick the door and be like, you know who I am. And that's it. Yeah. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I am Loud and Brown. I am Gross Stuff with a PH on Steam and PlayStation. I am Lucky Bandit on the stage, hitting those bars. I will see you as soon as I possibly can. I think I have a consistent Friday opening with my restaurants that I work at. I'm going to try to make some of these weekly gatherings for fighting games. And we're going to try to maybe do something in person, maybe early summer, not spring, but when summer's out and the weather's good. I'm going to see if Saltier could put up a desk over at a bonus round live event and have fun and meet everybody that even would like to see us. Because we would like to meet you. Because some of you, we have a bunch of Phantom fans that look only at the YouTube, or they'll hit me up on DMs and be like, "Hey, good podcast yesterday." I'm like, "You didn't say anything on the chat, jackass. You just like a bunch of lurkers, just like watching on Facebook and not like chiming in." But we still love you. Drink Voodoo Ranger. Kisses. I'm going in reverse order. We're going to the grown ass man.
What's up? This is the Saverings. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Be sure to check us out on all of our social medias. It's Saltier Podcast at all of them, except for I think IG is the Saltier Pod, something like that. Isn't that how it goes? But anyway, just Google us. We're the only Saltier, and if you're talking about video games, that's us. Hit me up on Twitter. It's V-Gaming. Hit me up in the Steam group. It's also Saltier. Just search groups on Steam. I will have a more detailed report on all the goings on in the Final Fantasy 6.1 patch next week. One thing I forgot to mention, I don't know if it's going to be right away or in a patch like in the next week or so, but they are adding cross-world travel. So if you have friends that play on other servers, as long as they're in your region, so if you're playing in North America, you can visit other servers across the board in North America. Same thing in Japan, same thing in Europe. So that's cool. So I actually do get to play with a few friends who are on different servers for now. And that's about it. Be sure to join us. We broadcast every Monday, 8 o'clock. All the places that I mentioned: Facebook. Check our Twitter. Check my Twitter. Check all the places. And I will kick it down to Dynamic Hunter Sage Bell, who's been leveling up her tailoring skills for the duration of the podcast. What's up, Sage? Where can everybody find you at?
You can find me at Sage Bell on Instagram, Twitter, Patreon. _ model for if you want to follow me on Instagram, because I feel like I said that wrong. Twitch, Twitter, and Patreon, it's at Sage Bell. Instagram and Facebook, it's Sage Bell _ model, and TikTok, which I don't use. I use it occasionally, but I've lost my mount for my phone. So
the pop socket.
No, the mount, so that you can have it on the tripod.
Gotcha.
So I still have the tripod, but I don't have the mount for the phone to be held.
Gotcha.
So I can do handless.
Okay.
So like if I want to do transformation sequences, it's kind of hard when it's just like this. Yeah, I don't have that. I lost it. This is my Sylveon cosplay. Part of it's missing because it needs to get sewn on the machine.
Nice.
But the top is pretty much, I'm just bedazzling it because I could not cut.
Wait, say top again.
Titties.
The top?
Top.
The top?
Teeny little Bolero. I got little bedazzling everywhere. Basically, everything from this costume is just Amazon, except for the bra. I owned it, and I just ruined it. But yeah, if you ever need inspiration on how to just bullshit a costume together with cheap purchases, I got you.
Nice.
And you can always ask for my Discord if you want to see more cosplay progress if I'm not posting it on Instagram or Twitter, mostly Twitter. I'll see you tomorrow on my Twitch at 6 p.m.
Nice. What you playing?
I don't know. No, I'm not. I'm doing Stream Raiders dungeons and working on cosplay, so it'll be really chill. You just
okay. Cool. All right. I think that's a wrap.
Well, sick. I think that's going to be a wrap. Everybody, thanks very much. Remember to tell your friends about the podcast. Stay tuned. We're going to be a little more consistent now that, we're going to try to be a little more consistent. And London will totally get the last month of episodes on the YouTube.
Yeah.
Right,
we stream
London?
live to YouTube.
I know, but she makes title cards and numbers the episodes and gets them all straight.
Gotcha.
She totally does.
Nice.
So, tell us about your gaming. Tell us what you're doing at SakuraCon. Come meet up. Let's party. In the meantime, drink Voodoo Ranger. Once again, big thanks to Flay Artist. Big thanks to Keith the Boogie.
Yep.
Boop, 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 boop.
Put up. And be kind to each other. Punch Nazis. Smoke trees. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.